Right. Welcome, everyone. I am really stoked to having all you guys here today. We worked hard on this webinar for you guys, and our topic is we want to help you guys 10x your agency's growth, and we want to identify the low-hanging fruit in this category because we all obviously we all want to grow our agencies, right? So, and that's probably why you're on this call or you're listening to this webinar. Um, and what the goal here is that we want to kind of walk away with some really low hanging fruit. We're going to do an activity towards the end of this call as well, so we can kind of help you identify what levels of associates or virtual assistants or remote team members or local in your office team members you guys should be hiring at this point to initiate that process of 10xing your agency. So if you're at $1 million, I think you probably already have some of this stuff set up for yourself. But if you're below that and you're say stuck at $300,000 a year, like I was for a longest time in my agency in Calgary, and maybe you're at $500,000, or you're doing a few other things, but you're still not where it needs to be. We've identified certain things that hold us back, quite a few of them over the course of the last 2 years journey. But there's usually two main things. There's a third one bonus that I'm going to talk to you about as well. So let's pull up that first slide there, Mishud. And there's two main things that usually hold us agency owners from really having that fast growth inside our agencies. And number one, if you're a person like me who's always dreaming up, cooking up some crazy ideas and working on new things, you're in the first category where you're probably wearing all the hats inside your agency. You're the marketing person, you're the salesperson, and you're the account manager. You're doing it all. I was doing all of this myself, right? So, I get a client in, I hustle really hard, I do some kind of marketing, maybe go to an event, get some leads from there, then work on closing some deals, and the marketing is left completely behind, change of hats. And then I move on to managing onboarding those clients and making sure I'm delivering at every hour of the day for those clients. So it got tiring, and I did it for, 10 plus years. So that's one agency owner right there for you. The other agency owner is extremely busy with fulfillment because they started out their agency because they love coding, they love building websites, they love SEO, they love running ads, right? So they're doing such a great job there for their clients that they don't have time for any of this stuff. If you're not going to do the marketing for your agency, how do you expect it to grow? Because that's exactly what we're doing for our clients. So, it's a huge oxymoron over here for a lot of agency owners who are especially below $1 million and they've been there for some time. They're trying to figure out what the hell is going on over here. Why can I, just break this $500,000 mark or whatever that mark may look like for you? And one last thing is that we don't invest in ourselves. We built out this business. It's got to a certain point. It's probably making you 100 grand, 150 grand, maybe a little less, a little more. That's kind of around what I was making on the course of my journey. It was a comfortable life, right? Making $150,000 for myself, and the rest is going to my outsourced teams and things like that. But just got stuck in the rut and couldn't get out of there. So one thing that the things really started changing for me was when I started investing in myself. I started listening to audiobooks. I've finished, I think, over the last 3 years, I've probably finished 60, 70 different books that I've finished. I've started listening to hundreds and hundreds of hours of podcasts that can help me grow. And then finally, investing in a coaching service, which is, you go out and you find people like Josh Nelson at the Seven Figure Agency, and then Alex Schlinsky at POD, there's so many different people like that who are doing amazing things, and you're basically investing in those programs to buy speed. And this is basically all, what we're talking about, in different directions. It always comes down to setting up your team and growing your teams, because that's how your agency is going to grow, right? Per number of employees is going to bring in certain set number of revenue, because that's how businesses work. So that's usually what's happening inside an agency owner. So we kind of identified a problem here where we're stuck below $1 million a year revenue, and we're stuck in these roles, doing a lot of these things. And I'll be honest, because I was doing it myself, it's half-assed. Marketing, you can't tell me that you're running a $500,000 business, and on top of that you're running your entire marketing. And when I talk about marketing, I'm talking about your own marketing, right? Like, we need to understand that there needs to be a wall between the marketing we're doing for our clients and the marketing we need to do for our agency to grow. Once you make that a clear definition, then you identify what campaigns should I be running over here. Start out by eating our own dog food over here, and we're not doing that. I can promise you that. So here's a let's pull this down for a second over here, and the three solution. This is kind of working with so many different agencies. This is kind of what we came up with, guys. We're working with some of America's, and we're blessed to be in that situation. We're working with some of America's fastest growing agencies right now. Some of them are landing on Inc. 5000. One of our clients landed 275 on Inc. 5000. They were just celebrating that. And we have, I think, in total, maybe 4 or 5 associates placed with them. And it's exciting to see that, right? And all these successful agencies now, because we get to be behind the scenes, we start seeing a pattern there, like, what are some of the things that are missing? And, the biggest things that are missing is that, usually they don't have a structure for growth. And the agency word, we all know that agency word. What is an agency? Agency is like a company, like, the old, the Mad Men type of ad agency. These guys have salespeople in there. They have marketing teams in there. They have client managers or account managers inside these agencies. And that's how these agencies grow, right? And when we started out with our journeys, we wanted to take our businesses to a certain level, or like, maybe Inc. 5000 level, whatever that may look like for you. But we forgot that, we need to give this company a structure in order for it to start growing extremely rapidly. And, and this is what I'm seeing working with these amazing agencies spread out across US and Canada mostly. And, that these people have structure. They have their own marketing department, not for fulfillment work. Remove fulfillment completely, and now you set up a marketing department. You hire your first marketing associate. If you are as the agency owner, the marketing associate of that company, of your agency right now, then that's a point where you need to go in and hire that marketing associate for yourself. And you're laying the first brick of building out your marketing department, internal marketing department, so that your agency can successfully grow over the next 2 to 4 years. So, that's the first step you're taking, because if you don't have that person or that team set up who's solely focused on your internal marketing, then we got a problem. You're not going to move forward there, because we know, we're convincing our clients you need to spend on marketing. We're not doing it by ourselves. And when I talk about spending on marketing, there are lots of things we could be doing, right? Like, here are the 3 roles that we identified, which I think these are basically, think of these as 3 departments that you're going to be setting up inside your agency: the marketing associate, the sales development rep, and the account manager. So if you guys don't have any of these in place right now, then the first hire you make inside these departments is basically laying the first brick inside that department to establishing that particular department. I've seen so many agencies going from placing their first marketing assistant. For example, we have our director of marketing, Mashood. You want to say hi to everyone?
Hey guys.
Mashood's our director of marketing. Started out about a year and a half ago as our first marketing associate or marketing assistant for internal agency for ourselves. And from there, over the last year and a half, Mashood is managing, I think, between anywhere from $35 to $50,000 a month budget and a 5-person team. And we count on our marketing to bring in new deals like crazy. And these guys are held accountable to number of qualified leads that are given over to the sales team, and so on and on. And but it all started out with that first hire that we made, which is our amazing Mashood. Feel free to reach out to him if you guys have any questions. He's done a fabulous job. He's literally doubled our growth, more than doubled our growth over the last year. We went from, before we hired him, around, I think we were at $50,000 a month revenue. We're way over $2 million right now. And, just growing and growing. And that happened because we made that investment. We hired that first person. And then, and we made the right choice of hiring the right person as well. So that's extremely important as well. So if these things are not in place, guys, like if you don't have a marketing campaign running for yourself, for your own agency, a cold email outreach campaign running, that it doesn't cost a lot of money to run a cold email outreach campaign. This is something, you acquire a list, you clean up a list, there's a process behind it, you follow it, you scrub it, you launch a email marketing campaign with a sequence of 5 to 6 emails, and you see the magic happening from there, right? But it needs to be done consistently. As an agency owner who is already doing between $300,000 and $750,000, you can't tell me that, and you're stuck there for the last 2 to 4 years. You can't tell me that these things are happening right now. If you are, I'd like to hear from you and see, if we're missing out completely on identifying the issues over here. But so the marketing associate, which is right in the center for you guys, is probably the first hire that you guys want to start out with, because you don't like calling ourselves digital marketing agency. And the first thing usually when we think about growing our agency, guys, and I've been guilty of that myself. So I'm going to put myself under the bus that, every time I got some extra cash come in, or every time I got this bright idea that, look, I'm going to do everything I can to grow the business. Usually what was the first idea that came to me? Can anyone take a guess? So that idea usually is that let's hire a cold caller. That's a bright idea, right? He's going to book in new sales appointments for me, and I'm going to close all the deals that he's going to bring in. So if, yeah, I'm just laughing at myself because, I've been there, done that. And in hindsight, like, what can I say, right? I'm calling myself a digital marketing agency. And here I go, every time I want to grow, I go out and hire a cold caller, and it fails miserably every time. And the reason it fails is that, we're digital marketing agencies, for crying out loud. We want to eat our own dog food. We want to start out marketing campaigns, even a cold email outreach campaign. Guess what? If you ran a cold email outreach campaign on a list of, say, 6,000 people, you're, say, just a generalist agency, like, who's targeting small businesses inside Tampa or Seattle or Austin, Texas, maybe, any of these cities, and you have a list of, say, 5,000 small businesses. You run a campaign, you put together a sequence of 5 to 6 emails, you run a campaign against it. And what happens with that campaign is that there's going to be a certain amount of those, out of those 5,000 people, there's going to be a certain amount of people who are going to start clicking your emails and opening those. And if you're using the right CRM and the right email outreach software, you're going to be able to find out what's happening with those people. So a person who's opened 3 emails, for example, is interested in your offer. So here's the point where now you bring in a sales development rep And this person is able to call on your own database, on your own marketing campaigns, come in and call and make these calls and become, fairly successful. He's still not going to be there with just an email outreach campaign, but you're going to start seeing way better results than I saw in my days where I just went out and hired a cold caller. You don't want to call this person a cold caller. The sales development rep that I'm talking about is a different breed. This person should, it's high quality associate who's going to come in, and you're probably, let me guess, also doing sales right now inside your agency, right? So you place this first person in, the marketing associate, you run these basic campaigns, and once some of these start working, you move on to your next hire, which is going to be your sales development rep. You only want to bring this person in once you've got your marketing set up and you've got a pool of leads for this sales development rep to come in and start playing around with. Because this is a person who can make 80 to 100. Some of our associates are making higher calls than this. It all depends on how automated your marketing is. That's why this is where we wanted to start out with. Once those marketing campaigns are generating leads, which means that these people are interacting with your ads, they're filling out forms, they're maybe booking some calls. This is the time to bring in your sales development rep. They should have at least 80 to 100 people on a daily basis to call, and these people should be kind of lukewarm leads, where they've been through your system, they know you, and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff, the sales development rep is going to be able to take on for you guys. But you bring them in strategically after you've set up your marketing associate and your marketing department. You don't go out and hire a cold caller. Please do not do that. Save your money. And then the third person is our account manager. So I've been guilty of that myself. Making the deals that I close, I felt that somehow I'm like personally responsible to make sure that the bread and milk get delivered to my clients on a daily basis. Pick up the phone anytime of the day or night or weekend, and it's not a good feeling. I never liked that feeling. It was very uncomfortable, and and especially when you get a call from a big client, you're always under that threat that, am I going to lose this $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month recurring revenue? So once you build out these things and you put your agency on a growth track, because now you have your marketing campaigns running, you have your salespeople coming in, reaching out to 100 people who already know about you, and helping you close more deals. We want to get to 3 to 5 deals on a monthly basis at least. So we're going to have to do a lot of activity from the marketing side and then the sales development rep side to get to that point where we're consistently closing 3 to 5 deals a month of hopefully recurring revenue for you. But on the other side, account management, right? Like when you're start bringing in, now your agency is starting to grow, we're bringing in all these clients, you get to 10, 15, 20 people to 20 clients, it's going to be a lot, I promise you. You're never going to be, as an agency owner, you shouldn't be doing that in any case. But if you are, it's time, as soon as you hit that 5 mark or 10 mark, you want to start thinking about the future, and you want to start thinking about starting to build out your client success department, which is really your retention department. As an agency, the sole purpose of the agency, the definition in my view of an agency, is a business that can work with other businesses and on a retainer model. So you have monthly recurring revenue coming in, and you want to be able to protect that monthly recurring revenue. And how you protect that monthly recurring revenue is not by answering that call any time of the day, but by having account managers in place. And these account managers are professionals, seasoned. They understand your market and niche, or they can learn about it. And they're effective communicators. They're effective problem solvers. And they're the bridge. They're the wall between you and the clients now. Now they're going to give you the breathing room where now you can continue to focus on whatever that might be, the marketing or sales or that net growth of five new deals a month and things like that, right? You needed that wall. And I can promise you that an account manager, some of the account managers that I've seen recently in some of the agencies that we work with, these people are going to like do a way better job than any one of us as agency owners can do. These guys are like, their full-time job is to make sure that they retain that client 30 days, 60 days, 90 days for an entire year for you. That's the sole purpose of that particular job, right? So they're going to protect that recurring revenue for us. These are amazing people. I've seen, I can just visualize. Guys, let's throw some case studies in for the sales development rep, the marketing associate, and account managers in the chat. And we'll also send this out to you guys as a part of the reruns for you guys. But I think that'll be really, really exciting for you guys to see these people in action. So, those are the three roles, guys. I think like if you're in that stage inside your agency where you're at, being between $250,000 to $750,000 and you feel stuck that, whatever you try to do, you just can't move forward. That's where we want to be. We want to visualize a proper agency, an agency that has recurring revenue, an agency that has a client success department, which is our retention department, an agency that has its own internal marketing department. I'm not saying go and hire the entire team right now, but hire that first person like I did, and see the magic happen, right? You're gonna move really, really fast with these things, and because this is tried and tested. We're working with hundreds of clients right now inside US and Canada. Some of these are the fastest growing agencies in the world. I can say that by seeing some of these, these Inc. 5000, how our clients are crashing these lists right now. And I can tell you that, they didn't do much. It's not rocket science. It's simple. We just need to get out of the day-to-day, and we need to think of as visionary leaders that we are, and hand over some of these things to, people who can probably do it a little bit better than us. So let's move on. So we've identified that these three people, especially the marketing assistant, is the first step. The marketing associate. Then once that starts working a little bit over the next 90 days, maybe 6 months, you hire your sales development rep to help you close more deals and call more clients and things like that. And then finally, when you start getting to that 5 to 10 monthly recurring clients, you think about your account managers. So I kind of want to give you some ideas on what the options are these days out there to help you understand what kind of model you want to bring, because this is going to, when I'm talking about 10xing, I'm really talking about 10xing. Things are going to start growing really fast for you guys. And what that would mean for you is that besides the fulfillment, I'm not sure, a lot of you might be doing the fulfillment yourself. Big bulk of it may also be getting outsourced. So I'm not talking about the fulfillment. I'm just talking about the core functions of your agency minus fulfillment. That this team is going to start growing, because as your agency grows, you're going to want to spend more money on marketing, because now you spend X amount of dollars in marketing and you get X amount of deals back from it. So why not? Let's spend some money on this, right? It's working. Why not? And these people are going to start adding up. So you want to be really, really clear on what kind of team you want to build out. Majority of our clients, I would say, I think 75% of our clients would have a completely remote team setup. So it'll be 100% remote. And I think a good bulk of them also would have a mix of teams, local teams, and people offshore as well. We've kind of done some research over here for you guys of these roles. If you're going to be hiring in different cities across the US, we picked out Tampa, Austin, Seattle for a marketing associate, sales development rep, and account managers. Averages between $55,000 to $70,000 a year. Some of these roles can become extremely expensive as well. So, there are good options out there. We're pointing to ourselves over here, but we're kind of at the higher end of this as well. So if you are looking at hiring from offshore, we've kind of put ourselves there as a comparison, but you can go way below this as well and hire people from Fiverr, Upwork, and things like that. You may have to do a little bit extra work on that side, but it's definitely possible. You can even go below the $26,000 that we put down over here. But there's huge savings that can be had, right? So if you have a growth-oriented mindset, you've already built out your business to where it is right now, kind of focusing on the structure of your team, whether it would be local only or whether it would be offshore only or whether it would be a combination of both, right? So you have to decide that. And obviously, we're a completely offshore based company, but we're connecting really, really well with a lot of agencies across the US and Canada. We're doing it extremely successful. We're benchmarking with the local US markets very, very, very well, I think. So there are options like us out there as well, which might be a little bit of a premium price that may appear to you, but still when you compare it to your local market hires easily, you can hire two people for the same price, in some cases even more than that. And then also, looking at, especially if you're early on, maybe starting out offshore and then slowly building an onshore team as well. So I would leave that up to you guys, but defining that is extremely, extremely important. And once you figured out that and you're ready to hire your first person, I think the next step is the most important step over here. I don't know if anyone can take a guess over here, is before you start moving into the hiring process, can anyone take a guess what that step might be? Let's move on to the next slide. So that step is that you need to be extremely clear, guys. I can't stress this enough. Extremely well thought out job description is what you need before you move forward. So you identify that I need this person, a marketing associate, to get this ball rolling and finally get going with my agency's growth. And you can't just bring this person in by just listening to this webinar and not having a solid job description for that person in place. That job description is going to kind of for people like me, who's got this one bright idea one day and then he's excited about something else the next week. And if a person like that comes without a vision to me, I can promise you that person is not going to be successful. But if I've focused on creating a job description that these are some of the key campaigns I want to run, I want this person to come in and help me purchase a list first, then clean that list, then run an email outreach campaign in first 90 days. And then we're going to take care of some social media. Then I'm going to start doing some podcastings and webinars. And I'm going to need this person to do syndication for me, like my team is doing for me behind the scenes right now. You think about those first few things, and then you put that on paper and you build out that professional looking job description that you can put on Indeed, and you can hire somebody from Tampa, Austin, Seattle. So that's the level of job description you need before you start out and go and hire this first person for yourself. And then also it makes it easy for you to hire new people, because I can promise you're going to be hiring a lot of people for these three departments if you do this properly. So say you've got that job description done. We do have, like, if you guys want to take advantage of our free discovery call, you can come on that. We can kind of do like a one-on-one with you. Usually takes half an hour, sometimes up to an hour of discussion of your journey. And then we'll help you build out that professional job description. And that job description is yours to keep. And you can take that and you can use it anywhere you want. If you want to hire not from us, you can go to Fiverr, Upwork. You can use that job description there. You can equally use that job description on your local platform like Indeed or Monster, and you can hire local talent using that job description. So world-class job description. It'll kind of help you sort out through what important things you need to be focusing on and things like that. And it's free of cost. So might as well, get that taken care of if you think that, I'm making sense right now. So and then on the hiring side, once that job description is done, the hiring is, again, it's going to be a process. I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy. We've all done that, when, for example, I did a lot of my hiring for contractors on Upwork, and we knew the processes there, right? We post this job, and then all these people start applying, and then it's a grueling process to go through all of those things, where you find out the right person, and then you finally decide to work with one. So it takes a lot of time and effort. Again, as an agency owner, it's up to you if you want to invest that time, or work with a service like us, for example, where we're showing you our process right now just on the HR side. um, our process is, usually it takes between 1 month to 90 days for us to complete all of these phases, from them submitting a video resume to us, then us having the first Zoom interview, and they have multiple Zoom interviews in that phase, and then doing a proper verification and a proper background check, in local countries where you're going to be hiring and things like that. And then pre-onboarding sessions and things like that. So, and once we do this, we don't send our people directly to the clients. Our people come into our training department for the next 3 to 4 months, and then they go to the client. So we have a bit of a different process, but on the HR side, you're going to be, you will need to be ready for that. And I think we have a solid giveaway for that for you guys as well. Mashood, what do we got for everyone on preparing them for the HR process and all of this stuff?
Yeah, so we're going to give away a free custom job description to anyone who is attending and watching this webinar live. And we will give that away as a free bonus when we're sending out the replay campaign.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that's going to be hugely beneficial for all of you guys. Let's move on to the next activity, guys. So this is an activity I quickly want to do. It's very, top level, pretty easy. I just want to make sure, can we drop this inside the chat, or are we going to be sending this later?
Yeah, we'll drop this inside the chat.
All right. So yeah, so just simple questions over here, guys. What we're trying to do with this activity is, we're identifying the next hire for your marketing agency. Where should you start, right? Because I definitely don't want you to start with all of them at once. Maybe, yeah, if you are at that, $750,000 plus, you probably already have some of these processes or people in place, and then you may qualify for more than one. So we kind of created a checklist for you, and it's a very, very basics checklist, but I want it to be like a duh moment for all of us. Like, am I even running a cold email outreach campaign for myself, my own agency? If the answer is no, then, and do we have somebody taking care of our social media management? Are we running webinars and podcasts? Do we have systems in place for that? These are just the basics of today's marketing. Without spending a lot of money. Like, obviously the second step to these things would be adding paid ad campaigns on social media, on Facebook, and running paid ads and pay-per-click ads on Google, and lots of those cool things. But if we're not running these things, which are really free and they require our time, then this is probably step number one. This is where you start out, marketing associate. And say you have some of these things in place, say you have some of these say some of these things in place already, right? And you may be doing some of these things. Like I saw, let's take a look over here in the chat. Michael said that paid ads, yes, cold emails, not yet. So, that's a good low hanging fruit right there, Michael, because paid ads is what's usually costly, right? And, when I'm talking about cold email outreach campaign, it's going to work especially for people who are stuck in, below 500,000. But paid ads, along with, Michael, things like webinars, podcasts, and things like that. There's a way of, using these very lucratively as well. So if we're not doing, I think there's a book called One to Many, I believe. It's highly recommended when it comes down selling one to many or something like that. We'll add that to when we send out the replay to you guys. But that kind of teaches us how to sell, using webinars and things like that. And if we're not doing that, then again, low hanging fruit, what it really requires is some time and a proper marketing assistant or two back in helping you guys syndicate those webinars, promoting them on your social media, and then running ads against it. Think of as webinars and podcasts as constant new content for your ad campaigns and your outreach campaigns and things like that. So say now marketing is there, your guy like Michael, that who's not running some of these campaigns, but he's running some of the other campaigns. He checks off on some of these things. He can now maybe qualify to go into a sales development rep. If Michael, you don't have a sales development rep right now, then that might not be a bad idea to look at it. And again, working with a consultant like us and figuring out where you are, the number of leads you guys are getting and things like that, we can identify a really cool job role for a sales development rep. So some of the things that this person should be doing, following up with leads, like, there's so many times, like I remember in my agency days, having at least 1,000, 1,500 clients over the last decade that I've worked with, and having that list. And, nobody working that list, not from the marketing side. Anytime I needed some, I was running short. What did work for me was that I would do a database reactivation and I'd start calling 5 to 10 people a day from my old list. And without a fail, I'll get clients from that. And then as soon as I get clients again, I lose interest in that list and I'm done. So having a sales development rep over here, working through your CRM, it's the key over here. If you don't have a CRM system set up, then use your marketing associate to set that up first before you bring on the sales development rep. So this person is going to come in only when you have these things set up, so that he does not or she does not waste their time. They come in, they hit the play button inside Go High Level, and they run a campaign, and the auto dialer kicks in and they call, maybe your database reactivation campaign first. And they call with a proper script or, guidelines on what the offer is this time around. And I can guarantee you that that's going to get the ball rolling right away for you. And then this person is actively making 80 to 120 phone calls a day for you, reaching out to people who marketing has actively hit. And just now start thinking about the results that, a person like this should be able to book anywhere from 10, 15, maybe 20 discovery calls a week for you guys. And now that's going to, and out of those 20 discovery calls, now you want to be able to close 3 to 5 deals of recurring revenue. So, so do you have these processes in place? You have the marketing associate in place, those processes in place. We move down to the sales development rep and see if you guys are consistently following up with leads. Are you guys consistently closing deals? Somebody to manage the sales process using the CRM system and stuff like that. So this would be a good time to bring in this person. And then we move down to the account manager role where, are you guys consistently checking in with the clients? The biggest reason a client decides to leave an agency is not the results. I can guarantee you guys are doing a great job there. It's perceived indifference. It's because we're not reaching out to the client proactively. We're not booking check-in calls with these people. And I already established that I wasn't really good at that. So, if you're kind of like me, maybe a little bit better, then start looking into, these protectors of your revenue, of your, retainers. These are superheroes. Like, that's how we treat them inside our agency. And I see all my clients doing the same. These account managers, they're problem solvers. And if you don't have these account manager processes in check, you're not consistently getting testimonials for your marketing team. You're not managing the teams on the back end. These account managers go in and they talk to your fulfillment teams and they get what they want. You won't have to worry about it, right? This account manager is responsible for maintaining that client for you throughout that month. They're going to go in and talk to your coding team and your website team and make sure that update is done within 24 hours for their client, because they want to make sure that they retain that client for you. That's their sole purpose, right? They'll do a way better job than you. So if you have the sales and the marketing side set up a little bit, and you can see that you're hitting that 10 monthly retainer based clients, and you're going on to 15 and 20 over the next 90 days or so, I think hiring your first account manager should be a priority. if you already have teams of account managers or certain account managers in place, and you got that growth coming in, think of hiring these people at least 90 days ahead of time, because transferring them or extra workload and training and things like that do take some time. So I think that's based on this a simple activity, you should be able to find out where there's a ball being dropped. Let's stop sharing the screen real quick, guys. And and then going from there, what your next step should be, right? Figure out, number one, if you once you identify that this is the right way forward, figure out a plan by coming up with job descriptions. And once you have those job descriptions, it'll give you a clarity of, once this person comes in, I'm only have this person focus on this. And please do not change the job description without telling the person, because then that person is going to be extremely scattered and all over the place and things like that. So you don't want to do that. If you're going to do this investment, do it the right way. Build out that job description, figure out where you're going to hire this person, and then onboard them professionally and properly. We're going to help you guys out with as much as possible by sending out some of these tools that you guys can use. But if you guys have any questions for me at this moment, I'm all ears. Mashud, do we have any questions you guys want to read out?
Yeah, let me check. We might have some on the YouTube and Facebook Live link. Give me a minute.
Yeah, so Michael, same thing. You were saying that you agree on having leads first before you get a sales rep. So I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I kept on making inside my agency. And when we have people come in and interested in working with us, that's like a prerequisite for us, that we don't send out our people as cold callers. We send them out as agency sales reps. And one of the case studies you guys should see is Henry Adam, who started out almost about 2 years ago with Josh Nelson at the 7-Figure Agency. Started out as an appointment setter and is turned into a sales executive, and he's closing deals right now in that environment, right? So the type of person that I'm talking about should be a person like Mashud, who's on this call right now. Should be a person like Henry Adams. This case study you guys will get to see. They can come in as an entry-level person for you, booking these discovery calls, making 100 phone calls, but they should have the capability or they should have this hunger for growth inside them, so that they're not just stuck in this one particular job. In true agency fashion, they should be able to earn commissions on deals, and they should be able to close deals for the agency, as long as they do their entry-level job really, really well for you. So that's kind of how you want to envision these people, because these people are going to be your core leadership team who's going to be running this agency once you get to 2 million, 1 million beyond, $2 million, $10 million, and hopefully $20 million over the next 2 to 4 years. So, well, I would want to thank everyone. I think we're way over time right now. And thank you so much, guys, for attending this. Stay in touch and reach out to us if you guys have any questions. We're going to try to send out a lot of value add content to you guys with the reruns, and we will talk to everyone real soon. This was a pleasure. Thank you.